There's a lot of noises in the background. Some construction going on. And, you know, sage just clears the energy. And you can get different kinds of sage. So I just wanted to clear the energy today. Yep, today's a clearing energy day. And I didn't necessarily even have a big, intense message, so I'm just going to share what's been happening. So I'm going to put my sage right here on this beautiful earthen image. That is from Sedona. Oh, there's even a plane going over. Wow. Well, I hope everybody's doing okay. Lots of noises in the world, aren't there? This is where I'm at. I'm in my nest. And I thought that I would share with you just some basic things that caught my attention this week with inspiration. That's pretty cool because it's one of those 1 or 2 seater planes. Wow, oh my gosh, you guys, the hawk is literally right above my head. There. And I can hear all the other birds around starting to scream because whenever the hawk's around, you know, it's his job to kill his prey. So all the little birds are, I can't see him very well. It's the second time a hawk has come very close to my house. So he's just sitting up there. So we're just going to let that be everything it is. There's a hawk, not even 50 feet above my head. And you know, I think that's one of the things I want to talk about today is the power of things that are not logical. The things, that inner life that I always talk about. And we can either interpret life through the lens of what we see only, or we can interpret life through other ways of seeing life. And that hawk is another way for me to examine my life. Not only from a higher perspective, but from a wisdom perspective. So that's one of the messages I get with that hawk visiting me. So here's some other messages I got. A couple weeks ago, I was talking with my friend on the phone, and we were finishing a conversation, and sort of about a conversation about new beginnings. And as I was walking, 2 acorns fell on my head, and they kind of hurt. You know? And there's another way to interpret life, messages. And for me, and sometimes when you get symbols or messages that are not direct, you almost have to trust your first instinct. Or your first instinct thought. And my first instinct thought was 2 things that I've put a lot of energy into will gain momentum, are seeded. And, you know, it just reminds you that this little thing is a tree under the right circumstances. Then the other thing that I got inspired by this week was something that I read. And it keeps sitting with me because it's something I believe, and yet I don't know if I fully understand it, if that makes sense. And so I just sit with this. And sometimes There are things that we connect to that don't always make sense, but somehow inside of us, it's making sense. And it's a little saying I found. It's not about having the most. It's about needing the least. It's not about having the most. It's about needing the least. And if you think about it, I've learned how not to need, really not to need having the most. It's just a powerful set of words about needing the least. And need, when you have need for something, it's usually a symbol of, or you think you have need, of something being out of balance. Or that's the assumption. But the more and more healing unfolds, and the more autonomy unfolds, and the more personal power unfolds, and the more connection unfolds with Source, and the more the joy comes in the living the moment, and more the past can be released, and the wisdom, the more and more that happens, the less and less I need. I do hope you can hear that hawk. It's really, really freeing to live those words. Really free. I don't even know how to put it into words, so if you have thoughts about what this means to you, please put it in the comments. It's not about having the most. It's about needing the least. Like when you don't need, when there's fulfillment in the now, in the self as it is now, and acceptance, need is actually irrelevant. Lots to think about. So those are the little things that I found along the week. And those quiet things have fed my soul. And interestingly, I'm at a place where I'm having to listen to the symbols. I'm having to listen to the mystery. In fact, I think that's my way. If I only try to use my head, the logic source, I get a little... It's not the full information. So for me to listen to mystery and what it's telling me really helps guide my way. And I've been asking specifically for direction around a couple of things. And that's the hard part, right, you guys? Listening to the mystery and trusting that it actually knows more than you do. In fact, the mystery is you. It's your higher self. It's the soul self. That's participating with your human self to take you to your best self. So mystery has a lot to tell me. And sometimes when I don't get answers, or when I feel like I don't know where I'm going, or the compounding factors of everything that's going on in the world, and and the losses we all feel. Sometimes we just have to hold on to the wisdom of mystery, that all will be well. That's the work. Trusting. I'm going to pull a card, and that will be today's message. And I'm pulling this from the Well-Being cards from Esther and Jerry Hicks. And let's see what comes about. I hope you have a glorious day, though. It is so gorgeous here. And I usually realize when I'm sitting in nature how much I don't need. That's so great. How much I don't need. Simultaneously, I need greatly. We're all needy babies, right? Let's see what card comes up. Let's see what pops out today. There we go. We are all working towards the same goal, joy. Right? I don't know what's going on out there. I mean, it doesn't matter what your freaking politics are. I mean, politics is just a marketing cult. All right? It's not government. So, everybody thinks this is so important when really we're just wanting joy. And so you gotta kind of be aware of your source of joy and where it's coming from. So if you're participating in something, you're with somebody, or you are even watching media that doesn't bring joy, just be aware that that may not be taking you towards your goal. That we all have joy. Every human being, joy. Whether it seems like it or not, you are all working towards the same ultimate goal of joy. You're just approaching things in different ways, and all of it is working. I think that's a really good reminder from an empathy standpoint that everybody is finding their way to joy, or trying to. Hopefully, that's the aim. And everybody has a right to find it their own way, right? Then again, the question is, what is joy? What brings you joy? And I had a realization about that this past week, because I'm at a precipice of redefining those kinds of things. What brings me joy? Who brings me joy? And I am super clear that I want more joy. In fact, I had a feeling of joy last week I wasn't even expecting. It wasn't like anything supernatural or significant happened. I just woke up with joy. And I was like, yo, there she is. There she is. There she is. The joy factor. Because joy is just the celebration of life. Anyways, we're all just trying to get there, aren't we? Joy, 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 joy. Joy. Maybe it has something to do with needing the least. Probably. Have a good day. Go build a tree.